Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Jen. We're just two run-of-the-mill casting directors looking to have a little fun while tearing down the curtain on casting, the process, and how the sausage gets made.
So many misconceptions have come from outside sources, so we're here to clear the air and make sure everyone gets a full picture of all that goes into casting your favorite TV shows and films. All the while, we'll be drinking some amazing cocktails and spilling the tea on some of the most outrageous stories we've come across in our careers.
Maybe we'll even bring on a few exciting guests along the way.
Cheers!
Cheers. Hi, Aletha. Thank you for joining us today, this evening.
Woo! Thank you for having me, guys.
How are you? How's your day been?
Good, busy, good, fun.
I say that like we haven't been talking all day.
Well, I'll just say this feels very long overdue. We're so excited to chat with you as we've all hung out with you at this point.
I know,
And-
when you came to London and everything, it was so fun.
And then when you came to LA, we had a little hang
I
sesh
know.
too.
Yeah, when,
I always forget you hung out in LA together. I feel very left out.
You just have to come with her next time.
Yeah, I just don't want to go
Exactly.
back to LA though.
You do or you don't?
No,
You
I don't.
Yeah. I don't want to go back to LA either, but I'm stuck here. I am hoping to be in London in December, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that'd be fun. That's the best time of
Yes.
year.
Yeah, I
plan
think
something fun.
my hope is the first week of December. So not everybody's gone yet, but I can still, see the people I want to see.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And you'll see all the Christmas decor and all the Christmas trees and all the Christmas markets and all the fun stuff.
I'm so excited. I
So
was
that's
living
to like
vicariously
pad your
through-
time
Yeah,
with it, so we're not jam-packed like last time.
that's true. We did a lot. What are we drinking, ladies?
I was telling Jen that I'm very disappointed because my house does not have any alcohol.
Oh,
And so I'm literally water today, unfortunately, but I do
Oh.
have a drink, so that's something.
That
What about
works.
you,
That
Jen?
works. I opened one of the reds because
Ooh.
I haven't really been drinking like at home. And so it's one of the reds that I got gifted at my birthday party that made it back from LA. So
Love that.
it's my favorite. It's the Côte d'Aron. So people who
Oh.
listen actually bought
Um,
me my favorite wine, which is
That
really
one
nice.
was
So
from Melanie, right?
I had two of them. I think this one might
Oh.
be the one from her, honestly. I think it might. Yes.
I didn't
So thank you,
realize
Melanie.
you got two.
I got
That's
two
lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you drinking?
It's still morning for me. And so I went with a morning themed drink, which is just my Tahitian coffee liqueur on ice. And
Ooh.
I am
Very cool.
enjoying it. I'm in this moment of life where I'm appreciating every espresso martini. And I only had them for the first time, I think, when I came to see you.
Yeah, we got them at that
Oh.
bar.
Yeah. I always was very
Uh,
scared of them for some reason, even though I love coffee, and I've really been enjoying it lately.
Aren't they invented by Kate Moss? Isn't that the rumor?
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Kate Moss. I think it was something like, give me something that will keep me up, but keep me part of the party or something. And so the bartender famously made the first kind of espresso martini. So
Fascinating.
they are apparently rumored to have started from Kate Moss.
Wow.
That's amazing. I went to one of the interesting Emmy parties last night, and they had this
Fun.
brand. It was, it was different. It was not at all what I was expecting. It was something that was like a sponsored event. And in my head, I was like, oh, it's going to be real bouge. You're going to have an open bar. You're going to have catering. Like all the fancy folks will be walking around. It was none of those things.
Was it to watch the Emmys or was it after the
No,
Emmys?
it was at 9 p.m., which,
I don't know what that
by
means.
that,
Is
at
that
9
when it
p.m.
starts? Is that
that
when
was
it
when the
starts?
party started.
Oh, the party started. That was
Yeah.
after the award show. Okay.
Yeah. And normally I'm like in comfy clothes on my couch on a Sunday evening. So this was a real exception. But I say this only to say that there was a brand of tequila there called Bandero, and they have like a coffee infused tequila. And now I'm on the hunt and I'm going to find it because it was really good. Highly
So wait,
recommend.
did you have to pay for your drinks and food then, or was it
There was no food.
no food?
And it was not an open bar. You had to pay for your cocktails. And it's such going to these parties are so fascinating to me because like the best people watching. And my favorite thing is when you see people there that are literally just like fishing for content. And so they have their like best friend or whoever it is, just like like taking videos of them dancing just for the sake to post. And I think it's the most amazing thing ever. It's fun to watch from the outside.
So
Yeah.
who was sponsoring it?
It was like Topo Chico and this alcohol brand, and it was like the most random collection of sponsors. Mike and Ike's was a sponsor. Like
Okay.
it's a candy brand, like some small, I don't know.
Did they have like a step and repeat or something?
They did, but
Did
I
you take a
didn't do
picture?
it. No, I was a plus one. My friend Reza was he was the step and repeat guy. So he went and did it as his thing. And then I was just standing with the Topo Chicos in the corner. But yeah,
Did you run
Was it
into anybody
fun?
else you knew?
not a single person. I don't know any of it. Was fun. Like we danced, we had a good time. Not to shit on the experience by any means. It was fun. It was just not at all what I was expecting, you know? And so it was just an interesting vibe. But I did really like that tequila. That's my takeaway.
Yeah. And then how late did you stay out?
I think so. We ended up because by the time, you've done a couple hours of dancing and drinking, you are hungry. And so we ended up at 1 o'clock in the morning at In-N-Out on Sunset, as
Of
you do.
course.
And then it was his first time of like having it in the little restaurant. And so he's like, "Oh my God, it tastes so much better hot." I'm like, "Yeah." Anyways, because he's from London also. He just happens to be he's working on his visa these days. So yeah, which explains the
Nice.
red carpet.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. I've never been
Yeah.
to an Emmy party. I've no of any sort. Like I just have been I
Me
went to
either.
like one pre-Oscar party once, but I've never been to any of the bougie ones. If anyone ever needs a plus one, I'm out here.
Right?
I'm waiting. Have you,
Yeah.
Aletha?
No, not the Emmys, just the Oscar after party or pre-parties, not the Emmys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From when I worked at UTA, that's when you get sometimes you get the invites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, we must start with our favorite question of how did you get into the industry? Tell us your path to being the successful, amazing human you are today.
That's such a really big question. I started in acting. In fact, Jess, I think I did an audition thing with you, didn't I? I found it the other day from 2014. I had seen you and I sent it to Jan and I was like, oh my God, I saw Jess in one of these casting directors meet actors thing.
Oh, yeah.
Back then I used to write down all the comments that the casters would say in the room and either take it home and work on it or find a new monologue to do. But I always wrote down the casting directors I had seen, so I had a list of them and then what their responses were to me. And I had yours and I sent it to Jen. I was like, oh my God, this is so wild that I've met her before.
What did I say?
I can't remember, something like that you liked my scene and that you were really impressed with my accent or something like that, my American accent.
Oh, yay.
It was very sweet. It was a sweet little comment.
2014, my goodness, ages ago. We're different humans now entirely.
Yeah. So you were one of the first casting directors I did that when I moved to LA. I really just threw myself into classes, Leslie Kahn, and then like meeting casting directors. You get told to do everything, so you try and like literally go to every class, do everything, go to shows and everything. So it was a bit of a whirlwind, but definitely worth it, and a good experience for sure, that part of
But how did
coming to
you come up in acting in London and then end up in LA?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. So I think I'd always been a performer. So I started off as a dancer from when I was little at school. And then when I was 17, I got scouted to do commercials, like commercial modeling. But I'd always been acting and performing, and I think it grew from there. And when you're 17 kind of, or going into university, I remember auditioning for RADA, like everyone does, trying to get into like a drama school. I didn't. I even when I look back at that first audition, like, oh, what was I thinking? It was so bad. It was like cringeworthy. But it was probably like my very first proper audition I'd ever done. I'm like 17, straight out of school, no real like life experience. You're asked to do heavy Shakespeare and you barely understand it.
Yeah.
But and also I think I was very naive in thinking that you could just audition once and get in. And actually, drama school doesn't work like that in England. Most people get through on their like second, third, fourth, fifth time. It's really a process of just getting used to doing the rounds. Very much like in LA, you go, keep seeing that casting director, keep being seen, and eventually you break through. And that's the same with drama school. So I did all of that, but I was always taking classes. I went to I can't remember what it's called now, identity drama school, that like the John Boegas and all that back in the day were doing, Letitia Wright. It was like the new kind of part-time school at the time, so we all kind of went there, and the classes were great. And then I got asked to go to Miss World when I was 21, so I ended up continuing like with the modeling stuff. So I did 2 years of beauty pageants, came out of that world, and I was like, well, I need to
I have
do
so many
something.
questions.
I know.
I like that you just gloss over that.
Yeah. So
I mean, because you
Miss
didn't even
World.
mention that you were Miss Guyana. So like
No. So yeah, so I the modeling kind of went into the pageantry, and then the Miss World thing, I was in China for a month, went to Inner Mongolia, and then I did other beauty pageants. I did Miss Asia Pacific, I did Miss Globe, so I went to Albania, I went to Korea. Like I got to travel with pageants, and that's what I loved most about it, if I'm honest. And the charity work. I know it sounds so cheesy, but I went to orphanages, I went to old people's homes, I did things that I would have never have done or experienced if I didn't do beauty pageants. And honestly, it was the most like worldly thing to do, to kind of help you understand in your early 20s what's going on in the world. And even like kind of like political world situations, like meeting girls from third world countries, or meeting girls from like Eastern Europe or different places who don't speak English, and kind of getting used to their customs and how they act and what their form of life looks like. And it really opened my eyes doing that. And then having the opportunity to be on a global stage got me my visa to the States. So when I finished 2 years of pageants, I just put all my modeling stuff together, and I was able to get an O1 visa with a talent arm. So that meant I could do acting. So even though it was modeling with acting. And then I got like a commercials agency, I can't remember what they were called now, to sponsor me from because of the modeling, from London. And then I had a few friends who were directors, and that's how I managed to get my visa. It was Miss World that gave me my visa. Yeah.
I'm so curious, did you find any similarities that prepared you, like between the pageantry of everything to pursuing acting? Like, was there a through line there, or just even like the culture of it?
I wouldn't say there was a through line. I think it is impressive, like when you go into auditions and you meet a casting director, it's like, hang on, you went to Miss World, and like, they start, it is like an icebreaker. if you want something to talk about in the room. It also, you know, like Halle Berry was a beauty queen, Vanessa Williams was a beauty queen. Like, it has been renowned that beauty queens have some performance kind of credibility. So it never worked against me. The only thing is, like, when you were trying to play girls who weren't pretty, it was very hard for people to believe you. And also it was hard work for me as well, because you spend so much time being perfect, being pretty, doing your makeup, looking a certain way. To get into those other characters, it really took a lot of work undoing what you'd been like prepping yourself to be. So that, I guess, was the downside, because all you would get was like the pretty girl, the hot girl, the, you know, and after a while it gets boring.
You're like,
You know?
I can have depth too. It's it's who I am.
Yeah. So I think those are the things where it might have worked against me in certain aspects, was like, oh, she's too pretty for this, or, you know, or they would just, it was always like an excuse. It was never, I never felt like it really helped me as much as I thought it might.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because I feel like that's, I mean, I think part of casting is the willingness to be surprised, right? That's like what our job is, or should be at least. And I think it's like taking someone like Charlize Theron, who completely redid her fit, like she made herself as hideous as she possibly could, and she's a stunning woman, you know. So I think it's like giving people the opportunity to surprise you in those instances, and without like cutting them off at the knees.
I think it's no, I think you're right. It the thing is, it does so much work. You do so much work on yourself to get to a certain level in the pageants, that when you're working to undo it, it takes so much of you to get to those places. So when Charlize Theron does all that, you're like, whoa, you spent so many years being the beautiful woman. How much work you've had to do to go to that dark place is, like, you know, astounding, pretty much. So
Amazing.
no, it is a lot.
So you came here.
What happened after LA? You moved to LA, you took class, and then what happened?
So LA was a big,
what year was it again? Remind me.
So I came to LA 2013 with $25,000, and it was gone in 6 months, honey. Like, if not less. I promise you. By the time I got a car, by the time I got a house, like an apartment to rent, and I moved to the Grove as well, which is like a frat house. It was like the worst.
And it's expensive there too.
Thank you. And when you don't have any income and you can't really get a normal job because you're on an O1 visa, it was just like, I ran through that money quickly. It was just a big shock. I thought I would land on my feet. I thought I would get a few commercials. I think the biggest shock, and I think I took a picture of it, was once I turned up to a commercial audition, and everyone in that room looked like a version of me. And I had never in my life had I ever experienced that in London. Never.
Wow.
Because there's such a diaspora of like people from all over the world here in England that I'm always quite unique. You know, if you, like, I'm from the Caribbean, my family, but you'll find another girl from Africa, another girl from like a French colony or something like that. Like, we won't all look similar. In America, like, literally every other, like, there was like carbon copies of me in the waiting room, and I remember sitting there going, oh my God, I am one of many. And I just felt like just so out of place. Like, I didn't know what to do. I felt like no one. All of a sudden I've gone from a place where I'm usually the only black girl in a commercial and I'm booking all this stuff in London, to coming here, and I was so replaceable.
You were having your La La Land moment, huh?
Yeah, I was having my La La Land, exactly. And then it was just like, wow. The only thing I had that was different was my accent, and that really helped me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would, you know, when people go, I remember I got told before I moved, like, make sure when you enter the room you put on an American accent, even when you're saying hi, blah blah blah. I never did that. I wanted everyone to know I was different. I'm not like all the other girls out in that hallway. I am English.
I love that.
And so it was, so I would end up being able to, when I got into the room, like having conversations and talking about, because I'll be like, oh, you're from London, and it's such a great conversation starter. And then when you can then go into the scene and do a good accent, I felt like that was my winning. That was my like difference. That was showing that I knew what I'm doing.
Yeah. How long did you
yeah.
end up staying in LA?
3.5 years in total. But yeah, it was a super shell shock, and then I had to get like a job, and because I wasn't paying, I wasn't booking, I was just starting, and I didn't have an age, like the modeling / acting agent was awful. They just like, it was like cattle castings, just every and anyone, wasn't really getting anything. I didn't really find my footing at all. And then I ended up having to get a job at Wolfgang restaurant in Beverly Hills. I think it's closed down now, not Wolfgang Putt, the other one. And that at the time, Stan Lee used to come in, Dwayne Johnson, like all these Hollywood greats. And I bluffed my way to that job, actually, because I pretended I'd been a head maitre d' in London. They didn't check. So I guess yet again my accent came in handy, and I just learned on the job. I'd never done, and I never even knew how to seat people, but I just figured it out. I'm a smart girl. I figured it out. So I was like one of the main girls there, and then the head of UTA used to come in there all the time, Jeremy Zimmer. And one day he looked at me, he goes, "You're really funny. You should come work for me." And I went, no, I'm going to be an actress. I will never work at an agency. And he laughed at me so hard. And then what was funny is he called up Wolfgang, and he called me up while I was working there. And he said, "Look, come in for an interview. I think you're great. Just come and see how the business really works." So I went in for the interview. I could tell the head of HR did not want me to get that job. I didn't want to get the job. I remember calling my mum going, "This is going to be the end of my acting career. I can't work at an agency. This is just going to ruin me. Like all my friends are at the time, a lot of them were signed to UTA, and I was like, this is just going to be embarrassing." I think even the guy I was dating was signed to UTA. I was like, I can't. This is just like, this is just a tragedy. And then my mum was like, "Just go and do the interview, see how it goes." So I went in there talking about my acting and everything. And and the lady there just was like not impressed with me. Anyhow, she called me up like two days later or something, going, "Would like to offer you the job." Like, I was just like shocked.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah,
she got outvoted.
She got outvoted by the CEO because I'm just, I guess it was my personality, and he thought I was bubbly and lovely, and so he really did do me a favor and get me in, even though I told him I didn't want it. And till this day, I run up to Jay-Z's office, and I'm just so grateful to him, because it was him seeing something in me, making me sit on front desk. I didn't really even have a job. I was a greeter, but I would come in at 8 a.m, be done by 3 or 4. If I had an audition, I could take a half day. I spent most of my time, so I spent 2 years there, but writing scripts behind the desk. All I had to do was like smile and call up, agent's assistant and say, "Hey, Channing Tatum's waiting for you," or "This person's waiting in reception for you." And it wasn't really hard. You just had to be a personality, and people remembered you. And I think the best thing about working at UTA and kind of experience was I got to go to every screening. I got to befriend the agents and agents assistants who eventually became agents now, who are agents now. Yeah. I got to shadow writers, directors. He let me do pretty much anything I wanted, and I really got to see how deals were done. And the rose tinted glasses I had about the industry soon faded. And he was right. you know, he kind of was like, we'll see if you still want to be an actress. And I think after I saw, you know, real people with integrity making great stuff and the festivals and all of that, that's when I was like, oh, that's kind of a bit more of me. But I was still hungry for validation. There was still that part inside craving it. But I was starting
I don't
to see
think
there
that
could
part
be
goes
another way.
away. I don't think it's exclusive to actors. I think that part doesn't go away. It's not just the validation of knowing that you're doing good work or being in front of the camera. I think it, you know, for all of us, knowing that we have value and that we bring something to the table, that's all in the form of validation in some capacity. So I think I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that goes away for anybody.
No, I think you're right. I think it's just calmed down for me instead of like wanting to be in front of the camera so much. I think my passion to working with talented people and like just the creative energies I feel on a daily basis, that has overshadowed anything that acting was offering me before, for sure.
So then what
So yeah,
what made you move back to London then?
so well, my visa ran out.
Oh.
So that really brought it home. I think, you know, you get a 3-year visa and you're either going to get a green card and commit to LA. But I think when I went back home to go sort out my visa situation, you know, kids had grown up, they weren't kids anymore, and family, I'd missed out on like 3 years of my family's life. And you know, we're a Caribbean family, we're very tight. I loved them and I'd missed them, and I think I'd missed as well England. Like there's something about London that I'd missed real friends. I felt like, you know, people in LA, as lovely as some of them were, and I had a nice crew, I still felt like it was very, I guess because it's like everyone's trying to get something, or everyone's trying to get somewhere. No one's ever satisfied or feeling a sense of gratitude, and it's always like, who can I get to next, what can I do next? It's a town that never sleeps, and it can be a very lonely town. And I think I was ready to go back home, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a failure. I felt like I hadn't gone to, you know, do what I set out to do, which was acting. All the people I'd gone out with at the time, from the Natalie Emmanuels to the Melanie Lieberts, they all booked. Everyone was booking that I came out with, and we all had come out at the same time. And I was literally the only one who came back with my tail between my legs going, wow, I've worked at the top agency, I've had access to everyone, I know pretty much everyone there is to know in Hollywood, and I failed. I haven't booked a job. I'm not a single job of worth. Though I did go to James Franco's school, and I did audition for James Franco, and he did put me into his film from auditioning, by the way. That wasn't like, oh, he's giving out roles for free. I actually had a speaking role in his film. But you know, that's when he was starting up his school, and he had his production company arm, Rabbit Bambino, I think it was. You know, he was really working hard on that, and I remember I fluffed up my lines, and then he was like, take it back again. And like, he literally worked with me on the scene. Like, he is a true artist, James Franco. Like, he loves acting. It's like, he loves working on text and, you know, just bringing things out of people. And like, I'm so grateful to him as well in his school, because I met so many other creatives from going to the James Franco school.
That's awesome.
It's sad it ended.
Yeah, some things happened.
Yeah, but you know, but I can say from being at that school, I think, you know, I thought he was the top guy, and I really loved working with him. And the school he put together was really trying to do something special. They had a library there where you can borrow any playbook at any time, and you could go into that library and just learn text, learn monologues. It was just like such a resource for actors. That I grew so much from there. And it was, all the classes were kind of interlinked. So there would be writers classes, there would be directors classes, but we were all like sharing information information and joining together and working on each other's projects, and that he really encouraged creativity and understanding how to get a film family together. He taught me that. He showed me how to do that.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that's crazy. Okay, so then you come back to London, which I don't think you're a failure in any respect whatsoever. I'm sure it felt that way at the time, but like everything you learned there, or even the people you met, like have now like played in. Like we always talk, like God has a plan for you, and he like now some people who back then are now playing a role in your life right now. But did you consider like leaving acting when you came back, or was it like, I'm gonna come back to London, I'm gonna keep acting? Like, what was the plan?
No, I didn't think to quit acting at all. So when I came back, I decided to, because I felt like a failure, I was like, right, I'm gonna do it properly now. I'm gonna audition again for the top drama schools. And I did that, and I got an acting coach, and my acting coach used to be the head of RADA for 10 years, and she was phenomenal. She used to have this cup of tea, this cup that said Idris Elba's bathwater, which I always found funny. I will forever remember her for her gorgeous mug that she had every time she trained me in her little shed, and it was Idris Elba's bathwater.
You know, it's after Saltburn, that is a very different vibe.
Yeah.
And you can imagine she's this gorgeous Jewish lovely lady with her like Idris Elba's bathwater.
Oh, I love that. That's hysterical.
Yeah, she was amazing. Yeah, she was the best. She was probably the best drama teacher I ever had, and she got me through to the final round of Lambda and to I can't remember, like the second or third round of RADA, and I'd never got that far in my life, but we worked every day tirelessly. And I think it was growing from all the auditions I had done in LA, you know, where you're cold reading and all of that, like those experiences were so good, because when I came back I was like, what is this? I get to have the text before and like literally get to be with it for months and live in it and do it different ways. And you know, so when I came back, going to audition for drama school in the UK felt like a piece of cake, because I was having fun with it, could become something. I was a much better actor. And also I think when I went to Leslie Kahn as well, learning the comedy, the beats and all that stuff, all of that then made me ready to apply again for drama school, and that's why I got so far. So I remember when I got to I auditioned for Guildhall as well, which is another good school here, and the girl who was one of the girls who was who was taking me in, sorry, she was a chaperone, she's now my friend. She said to me, oh, they didn't let you in because they thought you didn't need it. And I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like, she was in the room when they were discussing whether I should go through or not. And she told me afterwards, she was like, yeah, no, you did such a great audition. They just didn't think you needed drama school, so they didn't put you through.
But that's like such a like fundamental piece of how people get agent, especially probably a few years ago. Like it's how you get an agent. It's how people in the industry see you. We all go to their showcases. We see the people. So that's just like a dagger, whether you need it or not. It's like you need the exposure of anything.
Yeah.
But I
also,
think it was it burnt, that really burnt, because I was like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't feel I needed it. Like, yes, I had an agent at the time, but it would have got me a better agent having been able to do a showcase and go through the rigorousness of what drama school does to you. I think I could have only got better. So for them to go to me, oh no, she's already been to LA, she doesn't need this. I was like, oh, you know, they didn't feel there was anything I could learn from drama school that I didn't know already.
I just feel like that was a bummer. That's a terrible, I think obviously from the outside, if you didn't have her to tell you the actual conversation, you would think that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And then I think what kind of finished that, kind of when I didn't get into the final round of Lambda, and oh gosh, so many rounds, and I worked so hard for that. You even have to sing, and I'm not a singer, and I had singing lessons, and I think I sang something from Greece, because I love musicals. I'm a big musical gal, grew up on musicals. I can't remember what song I sang, but it was one of Rizzo's songs, I think. Is Rizzo
Oh,
the
the
girl?
beautiful
Yeah.
one where she thinks that she's pregnant.
Yes,
Yeah.
the dark short,
The
yeah,
one she
yeah,
walks around with her book bag and she's
yeah,
so
yeah. Yeah, and they you know, they call her a Scarlet, basically, that
yes.
she's yes, that's the song I sang, and I loved performing it, and I learned all of that. Anyhow, I think not getting into Lambda really was like, okay, what am I proving here? I've got through to the final rounds. I know I'm good enough. And then hearing that from that girl, and then unfortunately, later that year, my acting teacher who was training me, she passed away from cancer.
Oh,
So that was more like the nail in the coffin of like, you've done it, babe. She was head of drama at RADA for 10 years. She was your teacher. You got to experience her for a whole year whilst you were training for drama school. She's gone now. You got as far as you could. If I kept going and trying, it just wouldn't have felt right.
yeah.
It was like, oh, your path here is done. There's nothing else you can do here. So that was really it. And though I was still quite resistant to give it up, and so I started continuing making short films here in the UK. Because I started making short films in LA whilst I was out there. Did a couple. I think I did about 3 or 4 short films in LA. One of them won an award, best short. And that's when,
Awesome.
and also working at James Franco School, you just get the film family together. So we were always making things,
Oh, that's awesome.
always kind of writing, producing. I was a soundie. You do every role until you figure out, because we were all helping each other, literally just learning as we went. It was so fun at James Franco School. Like, we were all just like, if someone needed someone, we were just always there for each other. It was such a great community, and we did make a lot of short films and it kind of got us started in how things are done. And then so I wanted to continue that when I came back to London, and the drama school thing didn't work out. I was like, okay, I guess I need to find a film family. So I remember putting something on like Facebook or one of these like Facebook groups, just being like, hey, does anyone want to make anything short films? And that's how it started in London. And I managed to get like a band of misfits together, and we just started making short films until I kind of found my film family here.
Oh, and now that's including Jen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So for anyone who doesn't know, I feel like we should say, so
Yes.
you because I feel like we all know this, but we're gonna say this out loud. But so Aletha called me or emailed me right after COVID because she had this great queer rom-com that she was producing with a friend of hers.
How did you guys meet first?
Me and Aletha,
That's how we met.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what I'm
how you
saying.
met?
That's how we met.
Oh.
She just emailed
Oh,
me
just
out
randomly.
of the blue.
Got
Yeah,
it.
it was right after COVID, where I don't know if this happened to you, Jess, but like right coming out of COVID, I was getting sent all these scripts that were like, the end of the world, people are
Oh, yeah.
dying. And I was like, what is wrong? We just lived this for 2 years. Like, why are we now making movies about it? Like, can we not have a little like fun? And then she sent me her script for Everything in the Universe. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. 1, I'm a sucker for a rom-com. 2, it was just like light and funny and cool, and like the writing was great. And so yeah, and I don't, because correct me if I'm wrong, Letha, but I think you found my name because you saw Alice on this virtual Sundance that year, right?
No, I
No.
think did you do Palm Springs?
No.
No, it must have been one. Basically, I know I made a list of casting directors who had been in either Sundance, TIFF, like all the top, or Slam Dance, whatever the top festivals in America were. I made a list for the last 5 years, the casting directors who had done those films, and your name was on that list. So I work backwards. It's really weird. So I was like, oh, so if we want to get into one of these festivals, we need to work with a casting director who's had a film in those festivals.
Ah, smart.
Yeah, so that's how I came,
Yeah.
and then obviously I
Yeah.
emailed you. So we had a list of casting directors who had films in those festivals. I just worked backwards. I was like, well, if I want to go to one of those, I need a casting director who's done that level before,
Yeah.
and
You would be
also it was
surprised at how many
important.
people don't think that way, though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Well, I also knew like I wanted to be in the indie space. So for me, it was important to get a casting director who understood first time filmmakers and all that stuff, someone who would be amenable to that, because we were new. That was my first feature. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, so I needed as much people who had experience on our team.
Yeah.
That was really important to me. So working with a casting director who's just done studio stuff would be irrelevant. Like, also they would talk down to you, I guess, or whatever. I didn't need
Yeah.
that. I needed someone who could understand. I wouldn't know what deal terms are. I wouldn't know what I think I didn't know what day out of days was. So I was
Yeah.
like, what is that? Like, what are we doing? Like, days out of days? What the hell is that? I've never heard of that before in my life. Like, little things like that, and someone who wouldn't judge me for it. And I remember you coming on the Zoom and just being so personable and lovely. And I was like, oh, she's so cool. She's really cool. And straight away I knew you were the one, because we saw about
You did it
5 or
hard.
6 casting directors
Yeah.
and a few were just really snobby. Like,
Oh, I want to
like
hear who the names are when we log off.
some of them were really mean. Some of them were in it for the money. A lot of them were in it for the money. I could tell you weren't, and we didn't have much money. We didn't.
Yeah.
This was self-funded by my director. This is her first feature. Where are we going to get money from? So it was important to us to have people who were like committed to the artistry of the project, rather than just like, yeah, I want to get a paycheck because I'm a casting director and I have links to this person and that person.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
you
then
came across genuine.
yeah, and then it was great because this kind of synced up with, because I talk about it on the podcast a lot, like the time when I was going to give up on the industry, and like my friend was like, go to London. Like part of me was like, maybe this will be my last hurrah. Maybe everything in the universe will be my last one going out. Maybe it'll do a festival run, whatever. But then I came to London after talking with my friend, and I was casting it while we were here, like while I was here. Because I do remember, because I didn't have a lot of like friends or anything here, but you invited me to your birthday party, which was great. And I remember being like, just go, Jen. I was so nervous because I was like, oh gosh, I won't know anyone, but there's probably going to be like really bougie and cool. And everyone was so nice. And it was like probably one of the most fun nights on that whole trip. But yeah. And then we just kind of hit it off, and we were casting it. It was nice because you and I were on the same time zone, minus our director who wasn't. But we did so much actual work on the film together in London that I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I can see this.
And actually, what's interesting, and why I know I keep harping on about James Franco's school, but that director did come from that school. I met her at James Franco's school. So we did a short film after we finished at James Franco's school together. So from our short film, she loved how I worked. So during lockdown, she calls me up and she's like, so I've written this feature because I have nothing else to do. I would love you to come on board and produce it. I was like, great, let's go get some money for it. But she's like, no, I have some money. Let's just go make it. I was like, oh, okay. Don't you need more than that? Like, let's just like, because it, for a feature film, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to make a feature. It just, you always get told, oh, you need $1 million this. Like, you get told so many things before you make a feature about how much you should do it for and what things cost. But actually, we did it old school filmmaking where we went to the locations, we shook hands and got deals, and we did old school filmmaking, scouted everything ourselves. It was just me and the director going around North Carolina, just doing it, getting getting food, just getting crew, just interviewing everyone we met. We just did it old school, so it didn't end up costing us as much as we thought it would.
Guerrilla filmmaking at its finest.
Yeah, but I would not do it again.
No. No one chooses to do that. It's out of necessity.
No, wouldn't do it again. No, not for that. Like it almost killed me.
Oh God, you're a stronger producer for it, but we're not doing it again. Tell us about all the lovely things you have that we should be excited about. I know you and Jen are putting something together. You've got I hear lots of things seem to be buzzing.
I know.
Of what you can talk about.
I know. I don't know what can I talk about, Jen? I don't know.
Well, we could talk about the movie we're doing together, because we already put a press release out, so that one's out there. It's not like we're breaking any NDAs there, but it's kind of funny because I've said many times, like, I've been quite scared of producing in terms of, like, imposter syndrome and like, can you really do this? But you've been like my biggest cheerleader of like, you can do it. We would make such a great team. And so when Into the Deep Blue came across, I got sent the script to cast it, and then and he didn't have a producer on at the time. So I was like, and he was kind of kept offering me the producing credit. I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to bring Aletha on. And so we got it, and it's a script that I just adore. I'm a huge fan of the script, from the very first, like, I read it on a bus, and I read it straight through, and I called Aletha straight after. I was like, okay, you have to read this. Like, this is like probably my favorite script I've read in so long. And so she took a look, and she really liked it. And then we started down the process, which we won't go into all the drama that went through us actually like signing on to this movie. But it was really cool because one thing I love is that whenever I have an idea, you always like validate it. Even if you disagree, you're just like, it's like the Rolodex goes in my head. And I remember telling, because you're like, well, who would you like? Because there was an actress attached at the time who I wasn't a big fan of in this role particularly. But and so I made a comment. I was like, when I was reading it, I wanted India Armatifio. I was like, she would be fabulous here. And then Aletha happens to go to Cannes and like meets up with her friend who knows India and passes the script to her. And then based off all this, and we still had not even fully signed on to produce this film yet at this point.
Yeah.
And so she read it, she loved it, wanted to sign on. So now we're like, okay, now we have to somehow convince this guy that he has to give us the rights to the movie to actually produce it. Which we ended up doing. And then, so we're kind of in that stage of, we have our cast set, and now, we need to find money. And so, which we're on the road to finding. Yeah.
I will say, just not that we need to go into it, but knowing the behind the scenes of what that journey's been like for you guys thus far, like, you've already earned like double producer credit, whatever you could. Like, honestly, I think, a big part of being a producer, from what I've seen from my perspective, is managing personalities and being able to put your foot down when it's for the good of the project. And it's like, you guys are so passionate about this particular story and piecing it together. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want. You in terms of being a director, as an actor on set, you want people that are just there for the art and the craft of it and what this story will tell down the road. And so I feel like you're already in a great spot. Let's just get her that money. Let's get the money for the girls. And then you guys make a great movie. One of many.
I think this will be our first studio one. I'm really hoping we can get studio or streamer. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the indie world, I do. But if we can just have that on our CV of like, this is a Netflix original, or this was with Lionsgate, or it would really help cement both Jen and I's, career moving forward. And also it'll be easier getting money for other projects. Let's be real. This is, dog eat dog world. It's like, it's nice to be like, oh, I've just come off a Netflix original.
Yeah.
It really does help get the other things that we have on our slate going.
Yeah. It legitimizes you in a very weird way.
Yeah. Work begets work. That's it. Like, especially at those key levels. It's really fun job, fun industry we work in,
And that's the thing. It's like I'm always laughing because I meet people and I talk about what I'm doing, and then I'm like, hang on, none of the stuff I'm doing is out yet. Like I must I'm thank God I'm not a liar. People trust me because everything I have that's big is in development. And it's very, it's difficult to talk about usually, you can't do a press release, but it's not like I have anything out there to be like, oh, apart from our
watch
first
this.
film that means
Yeah,
exactly. So that's why I'm hoping this project Jen and I have, Into the Deep Blue, is like the next big thing that we can be like, yeah, this is our stamp of approval. We are big movie directors, producers, not directors.
Take us seriously.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of buzz already. I mean, just I know you guys really did the press release, but all of the comments and all the different outlets, that was huge.
It went wild. I mean, I woke up and I think I was like crying,
Yeah.
I had the writer on the phone who's in Canada, and we were like in tears of like how people were like reacting to it, the calls we were getting from studios. We were like in disbelief. And I literally just had the plan. I just said, Jen, we need to release this. We need to like let the studios or let people know the package we put together and let them come to us, because ultimately I believe in Jen that she picked such a great cast.
Yeah.
And these are real artists. Like these actors that we have, India and Damien, are phenomenal. And they have such a great fan base that are loyal. So I know when we get this movie made, it's really going to blow everything out the water.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see how it all kind of comes together and what home we end up going with.
I know.
Me too. I'm your cheerleader from the sidelines. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're coming up on our hour. I feel like we could talk. Well, you and I do talk all the time.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours and hours and hours.
We'll have to do a round two eventually.
We'll do a round two. You know what? We'll do a round two after our movie comes out.
Yeah.
We can tell all the behind the scenes, and then people can go back and be like, yeah, see, it happened. It came true. All the good things happened.
Also, can I just say, like, I know that Jen's just starting producing, but I really think people underestimate casting directors and how important, especially in a climate like now, they are to getting our projects off, to having the vision for a film, to seeing a script and knowing what type of actor or what ability it will take to make this great. Only casting directors can do that. I'm sorry, but I trust Jen's judgment so well. Like, she gets things, she watches content. Casting directors are so integral for projects to get off the ground and be successful. And that's why if you have a great casting director, keep them close, because I've got Jen like this by the neck. I'm like, you're not going anywhere.
Yes. Right back at you.
Oh, I love that.
My other producers that I meet at Cannes, they're all jealous. They're like, oh, working with a casting director, damn, that's smart. That's what they say. All the indie producers are like, damn, that's so smart, having a casting director in your back pocket. And it's true, because they understand casting is so important. Being these projects now, in order to gain money, they have to be talent led. You know, because you guys will know the value of an actor. You'll also know what maybe even know what studios or streamers are more interested in, which actors to others, and also what type of film it would become versus what actor you use, you know?
Yeah. I think it's also interesting, especially in the indie space, and obviously you have a lot of experience in terms of the acting side of things and the producing now. But I think it's really common that we go onto a production in the indie space and we have more experience than the producer and director. And so for us, it's like a lot of hand holding in that process and understanding the sag of it all and understanding the dynamic between actors and how you're supposed to, and even just down to the scheduling of the film, so it's why we are less appreciated more often than not. It always baffles me because we bring three legs of the table. You bring one,
Yeah. And also you guys are the backbone of the film, because I remember sometimes in our first movie when our director's busy, Jen had to cast it just off fly, like just off the tape she got. She'd be like, no, this is the person for it, because our director was too busy filming. Sometimes it just works like that. It's down to the casting director and her knowing what actor will be suitable and will be able to give it on the day, even if it's a one guest role coming in for a little part. The casting director has to have confidence enough in those actors to know that they can do the job. And the director's going through so much with, prepping shots and everything. They haven't got time all the time. So really the casting directors are who we lean on. Even when I did my first film, I remember calling Jen going, oh my God, there's paperwork for SAG. What is this? What is going on? What do I need to do? I'm dying under a mountain of paperwork. I don't understand. And honestly, if I didn't have Jen, I don't know what I would have done. And obviously coming from England, we don't have SAG.
Right.
Yes, we have equity. We have equity, but our unions aren't as strict as they are in America. I'd never seen so much paperwork in my life. I was like, damn, like, when is this going to go digital? I'm signing things. Like, it was just madness, doing hand signatures and all sorts.
SAG lives in the 80s. I don't know if that'll ever change.
Oh my gosh. It's enough to put you off making a movie again in America, honestly. So really the cast and directors, hats off to them, because especially for new producers coming in, like, I don't know what I would do without a great cast and director. And I think my advice to any new producer or anyone trying to get into the business is befriend a casting director, be their best friend. They will save your butt when you least expect it, and they will probably be the reason you get your movie made.
Oh, I love that. Look at these little heart friendships here. Can you do it? Is it no, it doesn't do it.
Oh no. Okay. So back to our very important question. I do want to mention though that 2 casting directors were shouted out at the Emmys last night, so that was very exciting. I don't know who. I know one is Nina Gold, and then I don't remember who the other one was, but I saw.
I think it was Jeannie Bacharach.
Okay, for Pride the Bear.
Yeah.
Was it anyway, very good job. But okay. Wait, what?
What's your question?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, so if the world was ending tomorrow and you had one drink or cocktail to cheers the end of the world to, what would it be?
Oh gosh, it's such a hard one.
Oh, I thought I was gonna be able to guess it quite easily.
Oh, what did you?
I was gonna guess, so whenever you and I go out and you have a drink, it's usually a picante, but you then changed it recently because you found the newer version, which that's what I thought you were going to say. But I don't remember.
What's a picante?
That's definitely picante. So picante is like the drink you get at Soho House. It's like their renowned drink, which is it's a spicy margarita.
Okay.
It's just a fancy name that they've given it, picante. But they did this new drink this summer called the Casa Verde. Look at me promoting Soho House. But the Soho House have done this new Casa Verde all summer, and it is epic. It's changed the game. It's spicy. It's got it's gorgeous. So yes, Jen, I will say the Casa Verde just for this summer. But I think I love, I like champagne. I love Bellinis. I like. What else do I like? I like porn star martinis. Like,
oh, very, very British of you.
I'm very, very British. I do love a good martini, though I could only probably have one.
They're effective.
And not dirty with a lemon twist. That's me, just clean. Yeah. So let's go on the Casa Verde. There you go at Soho House.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Aletha, for joining us today. We love you. We're excited to chat.
Feelings mutual. I didn't really think I had anything to say, but thanks, guys.
Like
We
an
filled a
hour went
whole
like
hour.
that. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
And I learned so much.
Really?
I didn't know half the things about you.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, I knew probably
Most of
about 85 to 90% of that about you.
Oh, did you?
But
Oh, okay.
I still learned a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Well, great. Thank you guys for having me. Hopefully next time we speak, I can talk about the other things, other exciting things that me and Jen
Yes.
have cooking.
Yes.
Excited.
It's
Bigger, better, greater, everything I could ever imagine. And yeah, I feel so lucky that I get to wake up every day now and do what I love. And I think all those years of acting have come in very useful for pitching, selling projects, getting people to believe in visions and understanding story, reading scripts cold, and just knowing writers and networking. It's all added up to what I do now, and I feel very, very lucky that I still get to work with the great people that I was wanted to act with. So
yeah.
even bigger than I could imagine. So I can't wait to see what the next 6 months to a year looks like, and hopefully when I come back I can tell you guys.
Yes.
Well, be crazy.
Yeah. So Shot of Tea Productions is the production
Shot of
company.
tea, yeah.
And if there are money people out there that want to give you money, how do they find you?
Just on my website or Instagram, shotoftea.co. That's how you get Shot of Tea, like shot like alcohol shot. And tea, because we're British, Shot of Tea. Shotoftea.co. And yeah, they can email me from our website. Yeah, just reach out. I'm also always looking for talent. It doesn't matter what position you're in, whether you're newly writing. We just love talented people. And I read every email. We read pretty much every script we get sent in, and if it's not for us, we'll let you know. But I'm always happy to help others who are trying to get into what I do. I'm always here to talk if anyone wants any advice.
Yay. All right, ladies. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening/day, Jess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and then we always do a cheers at the end. Oh,
Yeah.
I always grab my microphone. So cheers, ladies. Cheers.
If you love listening as much as we love sharing, click subscribe on our YouTube channel or find us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks for listening.